Well, hello everyone. This is Wilson Cole. I'm president of Adams, Evans & Ross and Backdoor Hiring Solutions, and I want to visit with you real quick on the sequencing of events and why it's important for your collection cases. You know, a lot of recruiters always get signed contracts. A lot of recruiters say, Wilson, that's going to bog me down. I'm going to make 10 placements. I'm going to have a problem every 20 or 30 placements. The revenue isn't worth the downswing, and that is a valid argument. But let me kind of give you an overview of where sequencing comes into a problem. Is when you talk to someone and they say, yeah, I'd be interested, send me over the resume. Now, this is assuming it is a prospect. Let's say you've sent out, an email with kind of a blind resume, your most hireable candidate, and they say, yeah, we'd like to see the resume on this. What you would always do from a collection standpoint is send over your fees first without the resume and say, hey, here are our fees. Does it look good? Can you sign it? Can you send it back over to me? Even if they don't sign it. Now, in a perfect world, I want a signed contract. But you've notified them of what your fees are. You can follow up with an email of, hey, I sent over our fees. Do you want me to send over the resume? That two-step, it's almost like a double verification with email. If they say, yes, send over the resume, we can argue, it's a gray area, but we can argue you were notified of the terms. You agreed to those terms, and you requested the resume after the fact. Perfect world, we want a signed contract. Fallback position without a signed contract, that's the sequencing of events that we see. What we have a tendency to see, and we see it from our U.S. recruiters, but more frequently we see it from our UK recruiters, and I'll explain why. In my opinion, we see it far more with our UK recruiters that are placing here in the US. We will see somebody send out that best possible candidate with the blind resume, and they say, yep, go ahead and send me over the resume. They send the resume either by itself, and then 3 or 4 days later they send over the fee agreement, or they send over the fee agreement and the resume at the same time. The problem with that is the debtor has not agreed to your terms. And you can say, well, we'll worry about the terms later. No, from a sequencing standpoint, and also from specific states, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and several others, you have to have a meeting. I mean, you have to have a meeting of the minds in all of them, but the bar is very high. So if you send over that resume before you send over the agreement, or even if you send over the resume and then they sign the agreement later, there is an argument that agreement was not in place when you sent over the resume. Now, I'm not saying that we couldn't collect it, and I'm not saying that if it went to court, a percentage of them, but it's going to be a much lower percentage, we could possibly win. But the problem that you're going to run into is a lot of attorneys in these states, they say, well, they didn't notify them of their terms. They sent over an unsolicited resume or a solicited resume without discussing of the terms. It becomes a problem. The reason why I say a lot of our UK recruiters do that much more than the US is that there's better safeguards under UK law that protect the recruiters in the UK. Those same protections do not apply to the US. So what seems like, it's not a problem, I informed them after the fact, before they hired the candidate. There's a sequencing of events. You have to discuss the fee so they know what they're agreeing to before you send over the resume, because you may be giving them a free one, depending on the courts, and you've certainly reduced your collectability or even winning it in court if you fall out of those sequences. So I always want to see a signed agreement. But if you don't have a signed agreement, you send over your agreement, you get them to agree to the terms or acknowledge your fee agreement, then you send the resume. Hopefully that helps. It's still shades of gray. but we're still going to want, in a perfect world, we want to sign contract, but I realize you may make 30 placements where you'd only make 10 if you had to wait for each contract, and I certainly understand that. If we can help you with a collection or a backdoor hire, visit us at staffingdebt.com for Adams, Evans, and Ross, or visit us to request a demo so we can find backdoor hires for you at backdoorhires.com. Hey guys, it's Wilson again, and this video was brought to you by Backdoor Hiring Solutions. And if you like the content, make sure that you click the like button, and also if you want to receive additional videos, then please make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to learn more about our software, please visit our website at backdoorhires.com. And then also, if you'd like a copy of my free book, The Top 9 Excuses, please click in the video notes below, and there's a link where you can get this book absolutely free. Just simply pay for shipping and handling. Thank you.